Hello all, this is Miss Adoma again as we continue to talk about the scientific method. Today our aim is how do I design an experiment? The learning goals for this lesson: be able to define the independent variable, dependent variable, control, and constants in an experiment. I also want you to be able to identify the independent variable, dependent variable, control, and constants in an experiment. So it's important that you know not only what it means, but it's important that you be able to pick it out in someone else's experiment and also when you're designing your own experiment. Alright, so today we're going to start off with a demonstration. We're going to use things that you can find in your house. So here's some vinegar, baking soda, toilet paper, some measuring spoons just to help us out with measuring the different ingredients. And these are film canisters. So I'm a little older than you are, but these film canisters, before we had digital cameras, we put these little rolls inside our cameras, took the pictures, took the roll out, took it to the shop, they developed it, and these were the film canisters that helped build that film. And last but not least, just some safety glasses in case something goes pop, just to protect my eyes. So here's some safety glasses. Remember, safety first. So the way this demonstration goes, it's going to take some vinegar, pour it into my film canister. I'm going to take some baking soda. And I'm just going to put it into a toilet paper square. I'm going to carefully fold it up. I'm going to place it inside of the film canister. I want to make sure that the tissue does not touch the bottom. Next, once I have that, I'm going to put the top on this. Make sure it's nice and secure so I don't make a big mess. So now I have some vinegar, I have a toilet paper square with baking soda inside, and I have my cap on tight. Put this baby over and look at that. Alright, that's why I was wearing these. So let's talk about what just happened. Our first word to know for today is variables. Variables are anything that can change in an experiment. So in this particular experiment, there were lots of things that we could change. I could change the amount of baking soda that I added to the canister. I could change the amount of vinegar. I could add it more, I could add it less. I could even change the type of container. So I could use a larger container or a smaller container. I could have changed where I placed it. So perhaps I could have placed the container at an angle. I placed it flat. I could use a different type of baking soda. So I used Arm & Hammer, but I could have gone for another brand. I could have gone from using toilet paper to something thicker like paper towel. So all these things that we can change in an experiment, we call variables. The independent variable is a variable that is changed on purpose by the experimenter. So we go back to that list that we made earlier, the different variables, and we just choose one that we can change in the experiment. So let's say we're going to do an experiment again. Say this time we're going to change the amount of baking soda. Add half a teaspoon to 1 canister, 1 full teaspoon to the second canister, and add 1.5 teaspoons to the last canister. Everything else will stay the same. So we add the same amount of vinegar, same type of vinegar to each of the canisters, same size canister, same amount of toilet paper, same type of toilet paper. Only thing that we changed was the amount of baking soda that we added to each canister. That's our independent variable. That's what we changed. Variable is what we measure in an experiment. For this particular experiment, we could measure how high the canister goes, how big the reaction is, how loud the reaction is. Those are all different things we can measure. The independent variable affects the dependent variable. Think about this. If you are dependent, that means that you rely on somebody else. The dependent variable relies on the independent variable. In this case, the amount of baking soda that we add affects how high the canister goes, how big the reaction is, how loud the reaction is. Everything that we kept the same in this experiment are called our constants. So the amount of vinegar that we added stayed the same in each canister. The container was the same. Where we placed it, the type of baking soda that we use, the amount and type of toilet paper that we use, that all stayed the same. Those are our constants. All right, there's one more word for today that I want to go over with you, and that's the control. A control is a sample that is treated exactly like the other experimental groups, except that the variable is not applied to it. So what does that mean? So we would just have a canister with vinegar with no baking soda. And we would see how the other three with baking soda would compare to the canister without any baking soda. Okay, that's our control. Let's do a little practice. A science class did an experiment to find out whether right-handed people catch better with the right hand than with the left hand. 5 right-handed students each tried to catch a ball 20 times using the right hand and 20 times using the left hand. Identify the independent variable, dependent variable, and constants in this experiment. Go ahead and pause it, and when you're ready to continue, click play. Let's see how you did. So the independent variable is the handedness, or whichever hand the student is, so whether right hand or left hand. The dependent variable is the number of times they caught the ball. Some constants, the distance from which the ball was thrown, the same people throwing the ball, the same type of ball, and how the ball is thrown. Well, that's it for this lesson. I want you to write at least 3 questions for this lesson on the left side of your notes. And then write at least 2 or 3 sentences summarizing your notes for today. Try to answer the aim in your summary. See you in class. Bye-bye.